Well, good evening. It's that time again. It's time for Side Jag. That's right, the show where we just talk about stuff that's cool. Just
Yeah.
really cool stuff and really crappy movies.
Yeah.
And I got something that was irritating me tonight that at work, not here. That I figured it'd be a great way to start out the show. The movie we talked about, or that we assigned everyone to watch, is Lou, which we'll get to in a little bit. And of course, we'll talk about all the other streaming stuff that we're attached to, but we're going to start out with food.
Oh,
Um, and,
food. Like
and
jumping straight in.
particularly, I would like to ask you a question about your stance on fruit.
What
Are
fruit?
you are
Fruits
you a
in general?
fruits in general? Are you a fruit guy? Like,
Yeah.
if there's like a bowl of fruit and we're all eating fruit, or there's, like, I really wish I could have an apple now. Does that ever? How do you
Yeah.
fall on that?
Yeah. I like fruit. So I'm not. We buy fruit every week. Some sort of fruit, but I'm not like now Cassie, fruit fanatic.
Okay,
She would eat fruit for every meal and not even have some portion of protein with it.
okay,
Uh, Me on the other hand, I'm like, yeah, I like fruit. Kind of almost I actually kind of as a dessert
all
is
right,
what fruit is for me when I do have it. So it's grapes, it's apple. I like peeled apples better.
okay.
Um,
That,
and
that's good.
and I like pears a lot and strawberries.
So when you eat fruit, do you cut it up or do you just like corn on the cob the pitch?
Like with an apple,
Yeah.
I'd rather cut it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like if you're taking an apple to work, you're chop, and then you're
Right.
gonna
And
just
then just
have.
throw it in a bag. Like usually we have one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Chop it, throw it in a bag. It's gonna be a little brown, but who gives a shit? Like it's
Yeah,
still good. It's
yeah. It's still the same.
right. Yeah.
Okay. The reason why I bring this up is because, like, I have a piece of fruit every day.
Right.
Usually it's an apple or a banana or an orange. But my biggest complaint with all of it is like, I'm eating an apple tonight. All right, and we're trying to
Yeah.
set up for the news tomorrow, and this apple was just taking forever to eat because
Right.
it's a freaking apple, and it's like, and
Yeah.
it's getting apple jizz all over you, and you're just like, your face is getting your hands, and you're like trying, and you're and you're just like, and you get to the point where you're like, you know what, throw it away, go wash up, and
Right.
it's like, well, that was not enjoyable, you know, and it's like, so then it made me think, it's like, so is fruit better cut up to where you can, like an apple, you can pick up a
Yeah.
piece and, it's small, but you're not eating the core and getting everything, you know.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, like an orange, like if I got to sit there and peel an orange and then eat an orange, that's a 10-minute ordeal of
Dude,
just like, kill me now.
that's the main reason that stops me from eating oranges because I love
Yes.
oranges. I
Yeah.
love
Oh,
oranges,
nope.
but
Big time.
when you're peeling them off, like if someone would just give me a peeled orange, like here's a peeled orange, thank you. Like, I'm,
Because it's like when you get this, like a banana.
yeah,
I know you don't like them, but
right,
like a banana is like the 3 minutes. Like 3 minutes, if you're
yeah,
not done with a banana, you're what? Really? It's a fuck.
yeah,
It's like,
and you just peel them from the bottom; they come right open.
yeah. It's like that's why I like bananas, because it's like
Yeah,
one of the easiest things ever to
yeah,
use. I mean, don't get me wrong, a grape is pretty fucking simple,
right, yeah,
but a strawberry, with a strawberry, you got to do that thing
yeah.
where and then you always have a little head left over
It's
because
right,
that's poison.
yeah,
It's, and then
yeah,
cherries, you eat a cherry and it's like,
right, yeah.
and then like a peach, if you bite too far, you chip your tooth.
You gotta
So it's
have
like,
peaches sliced. You gotta have
yeah.
peaches
So
sliced.
it's like, it- it's like I'm gonna have some fruit. I need a wetsuit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like, or if you
yeah,
now, like an orange, if you like, you cut them up and you make the mouth guards,
yeah.
like you
Mhm.
dad joke, and then you're
Yeah.
So but there's like nothing else like this other than maybe fried chicken. Where you're just like it's this experience of like, God, Jesus, like
Yeah. I'll
I
tell you
I,
one to get you. It's like a Reese's peanut butter cup. Like,
okay.
dude, can you hold yourself together while I hold you? It's only gonna take me 2 bites to eat you, little cup. Why do you have to get chocolate all on my fingers?
I don't even
Eh,
bother. I just stuff the whole thing. I don't even care.
I'm gonna have to start doing that because it's like it's not. Yeah,
No, it's not a two biter. I
yeah.
yes,
They
you know,
should
and
make them a
there.
little bit smaller, even though it would piss people off.
No, no, no.
I
They're the
think I
right
would
size.
rather have them a little bit smaller, so it's just easy to.
No, man, give me a break.
Yeah.
I hate the minis. The mini ones
Me
are
too, because they're
disgusting.
too fat. Yeah,
Yeah, the
the
chocolate to
ratio's
peanut
off.
butter ratio is off.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
ratio's off.
but no. So it was just one of those things where I was like, and I was asking for now. I was like, dude, I think all fruit just needs to be cut up.
Dude, and
Just
this
needs to be
is
cut up.
so I. This is what I do. I
Okay.
get the no sugar added in water fruit cups. That
Okay.
way, I don't even got to use a spoon. I just take the top off, and I could just basically drink the pears or the peaches or whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta have fresh. I can't do the
Yeah.
fruit cup thing.
Well,
It's
the heavy syrup ones are gross. I don't like those. The ones in
no.
water are better.
Yeah, but
They're
I
still
also
not as
don't
good
want
as
to.
fresh fruit. Yeah.
No, that's just it. It's like I
Yeah.
gotta have. If I'm gonna torture myself, I'm gonna at least torture my. If I don't want
Yeah.
to, no, you know. So, but I don't. It was one. It was just because like I have an orange in the refrigerator. It's been there for like 2 or 3 days now, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I, like I gotta come over. I gotta take my razor knife and I gotta nick it, and then I gotta peel it, and I gotta eat it, and then I gotta go wash up, and then I smell like an orange for the next hour. And it's like,
Yeah.
for
Oh,
what?
remember the huge scam that cuties were? Oh, these are easier to peel. No, they're
No,
not.
no, they're not.
No, they're
Yeah,
not.
no,
They're
they
just
suck.
smaller. They're freaking
Yeah,
what mandarin oranges
yeah,
basically.
yeah. Oh, dude, Fernando's a trip watching him because he's like, and he's like, I'm like, the frick, like, oh, I love fruit. I get it, but like, dude, like you peeled that thing like it was like on
Nothing.
fire, and you had
Nothing.
to. I'm over there like, why is this so hard?
Exactly.
Just for
Just let
some
me eat
goddamn fruit that we're,
let me
and
eat my
then
orange.
yeah, and then it's funny because it's like people, I feel like when you look at like healthy food, it's like, oh, you gotta eat lots of vegetables. Okay, what about fruit? Oh no, fruit has too much sugar. Really? It's fruit. It doesn't. So because it tastes okay, it's
Yeah.
bad for you.
It's
But
bad for you,
vegetables
yeah.
that typically taste like shit, like,
Yeah.
oh, we gotta have more of that. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Dude,
you
you
guys
know what
suck.
makes vegetables better? When they
Not
put
eating them.
sugar on them at the Japanese place. And they put it like when it's like teriyaki or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
those vegetables are
Yeah.
the bomb.
Oh yeah. So the Chinese restaurant I go to, they're like, I go, what do you guys have that's like? This was a while ago. So what do you guys have
Yeah.
that's like just like nothing? And they're like, what do you mean? Like no salt, no nothing. Like, oh, we make steam. I said, all right, well give me the steam platter.
Yeah.
No problem. You want rice? I said, no. So now I just get that, and it's just like the most bland ass steam shit. And then I
Yeah.
just cover it in sriracha sauce when I get it home, and it's like, yeah, this works.
Yeah.
Because like apparently that's okay.
We listen, we had a guy in from corporate and he's like, where should I eat? It's Fort Smith. There's not many places. I was like, Japanese steakhouse. We'll go there for lunch. And then of course, get the yum yum sauce, the rice. We didn't you can sit at a table, not do the hibachi, but still get the
Right.
hibachi food.
Oh, okay.
That's what we did. And when you pour the yum yum sugar sauce over everything, it is really good.
That's why it's called yum yum.
It's yum yum sauce.
I
100%.
see. I can't go to the girls absolutely love that place, and they would used to make me go, and I haven't been in forever because it's kind of like your job. Like as soon as you get home, you have to strip in the garage, then you have to immediately go to the shower, and then you have to burn your clothes when you get out because they just smell like hibachi shit.
Like going to a dentist office and you smell like a dentist office.
I didn't know that was a thing, but okay.
Yeah, it is. It truly is.
Apparently, my sense of smell That's the thing. My sense of smell sucks, and it's just like certain things. And that
Yeah,
smell of a hibachi grill, it's like,
that hits you.
oh, it stinks. It's like I feel like I took a bath in soy sauce.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, you did. You
I
did.
did. Yeah, it
Right.
vaporized onto me and just like got into my pores, and it's like I'm sweating soy sauce.
Right.
So bad.
So, but before we jumped in, I posed the question to you, like, what happened to the Bermuda Triangle? Is it something we're
Yes.
still worried about in 2022? Because it was a very big concern of mine as a
Oh, as a
10-year
child,
old. In a 10-year-old in
totally.
1990, it was like Bermuda
Like I don't
Triangle is
ever want to
very
go near
scary.
this place. I
Yeah.
lived in Florida.
Right.
I lived in Florida, so we moved here in the 80s, and that was like a big thing, because
Yeah.
back I mean, but it was funny because like most of the shit happened in like World War II,
Right. Yeah.
and which was way before my time.
Right.
So you're talking the 50s and 60s and 70s. Here in the 80s, we're still like, oh, the Bermuda
Yeah.
Triangle's a thing, and it's like, how is it a thing? And
It
now, I
was on
mean,
Unsolved Mysteries.
oh
Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. It
And the
was
funny
very
thing is
concerned.
I feel like they've found a ton of shit in the Bermuda Triangle, but
Yeah.
now it's on like Ancient Aliens, and they're talking about like there's the temporal vortex or some shit like that. And
Is
I'm
it
like,
really? Dude, I
oh
haven't heard
yeah,
about it since the 90s, I don't think.
oh no, it's they still talk about this shit because
Yeah.
now it's aliens, because but my point is like people live in Bermuda, okay, and
Right.
they go back and forth every day of the
And
week, many times a day.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
Lost only happened once, and it was 5 seasons.
yeah. But my point is, it's like I feel like I mean it's literally off the coast of Florida,
Right.
which is like one of like
You
we have tons of sophisticated shit sitting off the
right.
coast of Florida,
Yeah.
because of Cuba and
Yeah.
a couple other asshole places. But like no,
Yeah. It was
I
strange, man.
yeah,
I'll tell
you
you
know,
another sidejag fun fact. Do you remember it's 6 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are?
yes, oh God,
So do you
yes,
know where that came from?
no,
So have you ever heard of the Atlanta child murders?
vaguely, vaguely,
So I forget the guy's name, but I listened to a whole podcast series about it, and
nice,
he got convicted for 2 murders of older gentlemen.
okay,
But they kind of pin all these child murders on him. He's going around saying he was a photographer and picking up kids in the ghetto and
okay, yeah,
and killing them
yes.
essentially. So that's where that came from because he was just picking all those kids up, and that's where the saying that everybody who lived in the 80s remembers, it's 6 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
I thought the other one was, do you know what your children are watching?
That may have been one. Was it
So that's one of those things that I forget what they're called. One of those things that
PSA?
everyone thinks they've heard it this way, but they never
Oh,
have.
is that the Streisand effect or the Mandela or the
Mandela effect. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And Haley got me into that one day. She goes, oh, that's one of those men. And I was like, wait, or back it up. What are you talking about? And so
Yeah.
then we did a deep dive on it, and it was like melts in your mouth, not in your hand, and all these other ones that are just totally not we all remember them wrong,
Right.
which
I'm looking it up
which
now.
which I think is great because it's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, if you remember them wrong,
Yeah.
then
It's blinded by the light. You know that? Everyone thought it was uh took off like a douche in the middle of the night.
oh yeah, I never knew what that one was.
Right. I didn't know until I heard someone that it was like a
I thought it
doozy.
was douching.
That's
Yeah,
what everyone thought it was. That's what I thought it was.
yeah, I don't even know what it was.
It was a deuce.
A
Like
deuce.
yeah, a deuce. Which was like a Ford or something like that.
Oh, deuce coupe, like a
Yeah,
deuce.
right. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? PSA. So I
Hmm.
was wrong on the time. It's 10 p.m.
Do you know where your children's are? See, I always thought it was, it's 8 o'clock. You know what your children are watching.
Right. Which is, I mean, yeah. I mean, I thought 6, and because my mom was like, this was the thing for her. Like,
Yeah,
yo, you know,
it might have been 10 o'clock because, like, I was like, that's when Saturday Night Live would come on.
Right.
like 10:30, after the
Yeah.
news, you'd have Saturday Night Live come on, and yeah, it was always one of those shut up TV.
Right. Exactly. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And let's be honest, man. If you don't know where your kids are at 10 o'clock at night, man, what
Right.
kind of fucking parent are
Dude,
you? I
the
mean,
80s were a lot different. Like
yeah.
the
Oh, there's
70s,
no
80s.
question. The 80s
Right.
were totally a lot different. I mean,
Right. Like,
yeah. I was thinking about that because like we moved here and I was in the 5th grade. My sister was in the 4th grade, and dude, we used to ride our bikes like a mile and a half, 2 miles to school every day.
yeah.
And it wasn't even a thought. Wasn't even a thought. If you would have told me that I was gonna have to have Haley ride her bike down like literally down the street and like 10, not like we walked it.
Right.
If you're gonna tell me she was gonna have to ride that by herself, you're nuts. Not a chance.
Is that exactly. And that's what happens. Like, but I remember like my mom would literally set a pitcher of Kool-Aid with a lid out and or water, whatever it was, and be like,
Yeah.
you guys don't come back in the house. It's Saturday.
Oh yeah,
Don't
yeah.
come
You're
back in the
gone.
house till dark time. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. What do you want
out.
us to do for food? Figure it out. Not my problem. Go kill an
Right,
animal.
right. Or
Yeah.
she would put a sandwich out. Like when it's lunchtime, there'd be a sandwich or something for you to eat, chips. But
Yeah, see, that was never even a thing. Like, you didn't have to tell us to do that shit, man. Like, you're not hanging out at the house. Why would we want to hang out at the house? Like,
right, yeah,
that's
exactly.
just screw that shit.
Yeah.
We're gone, bro. As soon as like, oh, it's time to get up.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Where are we going? I don't care.
Yeah, we're gonna
Let's
climb
go
this
burn
tree.
some shit.
We're gonna climb this tree, and I got a new BB gun. I'm gonna wait till you get in the tree, and I'm gonna shoot you right in the ass. That's what we're gonna do.
Well, yeah, different part of the world. We didn't do that, but okay,
Yeah.
I take your word for it. We just rode around, played chips.
Right.
I was my friend was Paunch, and I was the other guy because he was the white guy, so I got to play the white guy.
That's right.
Yeah. So, but no, oh, for sure. I mean, but there again, we didn't have like this was a conversation. So this was a conversation we had when we were in Hawaii with Sue's uncle, because he's of a certain political affiliation that the world needs, like America needs to be fixed, because kids nowadays aren't getting the proper upbringing, and they because they don't share the same experiences that he shared growing up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, that they're somehow less fortunate. And I was listening to him and I was like, okay, well, time to blow your brain. I'm going to tell you right now that Haley feels sad for you. You feel sad for her, but she doesn't want your child. She feels bad that you grew up the way you had to, because, and Haley's over there going, yeah. And he's like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, because they had the benefit of everything that you learned that sucked. That someone said, you know what, that really sucked. Let's find a better way to do that. 30 years of sucking creates really cool shit. I said, and she grew up in a world where, it started with cassettes, but it ended with a phone that will deliver her anything in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. So you grew up playing with sticks.
Yeah.
Okay. And having to stay out late at night, and your circle of friends. I go every summer. What happened? Every summer, I was like, Tommy, I'll see you in 2 months. Because you can't see Tommy because Tommy lives 4 subdivisions, 6 miles away. Yeah. And you can't call Tommy because you don't know Tommy's phone number.
Right.
Because Tommy doesn't know Tommy's phone number.
Exactly. And it's so, like, I had very little parental supervision at that age compared to like, dude, I could do basically anything I wanted to do.
Nothing. There's no parental supervision. I remember one winter, we got matches.
Yeah.
And we're like, fuck, we're cold. Let's go start a fire.
Oh yeah.
And we started a fire, and we came back, and we didn't realize smell. We didn't realize that was a thing. Like, we're kids, man. We're fucking.
You out by the campfire?
We're kindergartnens going off in the woods and starting a fire to stay warm. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't know that. Like, when we come back, we're gonna smell like. And the first, my mom was like, why do you guys smell like fire? And we're like, like we knew it was wrong. And we immediately had to lie. Oh, we were at so-and-so's house and they had a fire going. She's like, try again. That's not what happens. I go, shit. Yeah, I didn't say shit. But I was, because I didn't even know that was a word back then. I was like, we probably did something we weren't supposed to do. Now imagine talking to a kindergartner, maybe a first grader, like you were in the woods and you guys started a fire in the middle of winter. And no, like it would never happen today. We did that shit.
Yeah.
No
I know.
repercussions whatsoever.
Dude, it's like, so when we found out that you can spray hairspray on something, like in a design.
Oh, light it on fire?
And light it on fire. We were in the garage doing that with my cousin.
Course.
So my cousin was down for the summer. We would split off. Like one summer we'd be with his mom and dad, and one summer he'd be with us and my mom. Anyways, we're in there setting big ass fires. Mom finds out. Comes in there, like, we're getting a whooping. That's all there is to it, right? but my cousin, he's not smart enough to know the game. So we instantly, first hit, just scream, hollering, doing all this stuff. Grabbing your butt, falling down.
Yeah.
No, my cousin's a tough guy. He's just going to go until he can't take it no more. And my mom, I bet her arm was so sore after she was just whooping his butt. So he's really legitimately crying at the end of it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's fine. You know, you guys are crying. And then as soon as my mom leaves, like, we're normal. Like, it's like, dude, what are you doing? You don't do that. You're not a tough guy. Don't be the tough guy. Fall on the first hit. Like, fall on the first hit. You don't have to be the hero here.
Oh my God.
And he's like, I didn't think about that. He's like, I thought you guys were just wussies. And I was like, well, we might be, but we're not stupid wussies.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh my God. Oh, that is hilarious, man.
Yeah. So he learned that lesson the hard way. And my mom would not show any give in her arm, but I know she was in there probably doing one of these
she
numbers.
was icing it. Like, oh, that son of a bitch. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. And there again, that can't happen anymore.
Right. Oh yeah.
Well, you know, it was funny too, because like Fernando's son was up at the store one day, before school started. Before they went back to school, he had to come to work. It was bring your kid to work because no one can take care of him day.
Yeah.
And dude, he sat on his phone, he has a phone. He sat on his phone and talked to his cousin all day, like all day. They just sat there and they were playing like one of the I don't know, one of the multiplayer online games all day, just talking to each other, doing. And I'm like, how does this even happen? Like, but to them that's like the cool dude. It was like when the phone dropped because the kid's like, you know, his parents shut off the internet because he'd been on it for like 6 hours. You'd think the world had fucking stopped. He comes, dude, I can't get him back, and he's like, Fernand's like, dude, you've been on the phone with him for 6 hours. Relax, he's fine. but no, dude, like, let it go. Just bow out, you know. And he's like,
my favorite game was cutting off the Wi-Fi, just randomly, just for fun, like to see what happens. And the kids, like when they were probably like 14 or 15, like dude, instantly they're out there. What happened to the Wi-Fi? What's going on with the Wi-Fi? Did something happen to the Wi-Fi?
Oh my God. Yeah, so back to the, you know, her uncle was like, his mind was blown because he had never thought that they don't know. They grew up in a different time. They don't know any of that. I mean, you don't know. You know, it's
what
like I always tell people,
you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know. It's like people ask me a question, and they'll be, "What do you?" And it's like, there's so much more to this question that you're not asking, and it's like because you don't know what you don't know, so you can't ask something that you really don't know. All the there's more to this, and they just kind of look at you, and it's like, all right, well, let's start, and they're like, oh yeah, never mind. You know, and to them it's like, no, they grew up and they had just as much fun in their child. They're not going, man, I didn't get to go out and ride my bike till till midnight when the streetlights came on, and I didn't get to, no, they grew up like, oh, dude, we got to do, dude, we had these portable computers, and we got to do this shit. We had
Yeah.
Dimagotchis, and we had all these little things. We had this little thing that beeped and it squeaked, and then you had to press it. And we had Furbies that scared the shit out of you because they just randomly turn on. And remember this one? Yeah, they had just as much fun as we had.
Right. And Kyle, even though he grew up in that time, like he did both. Like he played his video games with his friends, played on his phone, then he rode his bike, and then every night him and his buddies would play basketball in the street, So it's like he literally got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, he had a good one.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of these old guys that are, gotta make it great again.
Yeah.
Never wasn't. It's always been great.
Yeah.
It's just, sorry. We've moved on. We've moved on.
Yeah.
It's better now. It's actually better than great.
Yeah. We didn't, they had, speaking of something I've watched, there was a lot more serial killers in the 70s.
There was a lot of, yes, there was a lot. That was a good time to be a serial killer.
Right. Because you can get away with it. And like today, it's going to be really hard to be a serial killer because they're probably going to catch you on your first kill.
Well, like we were talking about before the show.
Yeah.
When I was reading this article about a car they found that solved a 30-year mystery, because some dude was flying a drone over the forest and saw something in the bottom of a lake and reported it to the police, and the police had to go hike out with their dive gear and a backhoe and all this crap. And sure enough, there's a car at the bottom of the lake in the middle of the freaking woods that some idiot threw away 30 years ago and thought he got away with it.
I mean, technically he did for 30 years.
Yeah, but now there's a chance he can find out who it is and he can go to jail. It's like...
like when they found the Hillside Strangler, the guy that was like, they thought it was like 3 or 4 rapists and serial killers, and it was all him, Joseph D'Angelo.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have like a documentary that I haven't watched, but I've listened to a podcast about it. But there was like the Hillside Strangler, the something rapist, and it was all within, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour of each other.
Oh,
it was
perfect.
It was all him.
They all got caught him on the weekends.
It was all him, and they caught him from DNA from like one of his cousins, like 23andMe style, had entered that, and they found it. They linked it back to him, 30-something years later. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
You can't get away with anything because now there's guys with drones and metal detectors everywhere.
And they're going to find you. Yeah. And get your DNA.
Yeah. So that's why the Bermuda Triangle doesn't matter. Because they're just going to send a drone and a guy with a metal detector and they'll find it. It's right here. It's bullshit.
You didn't fly through it, bro. You just you did it on purpose.
Yeah, you didn't put the new batteries in your watch, so you didn't know where the hell you were going.
Yeah. DB Cooper can never happen. Never again.
Yep. It's so sad. Sad. All right.
I've been watching Dahmer, so I finished it. Dude, that's pretty
dark.
Yeah, dude. It's like it just made me think like, and he was kind of like, I don't know if the show is true to how he was exactly.
How would we know?
Right. But they do have one called the Dahmer tapes, which I'm watching now, like stuff that he actually said because I'm interested in it. But it does seem like he was trying to tell people like, hey, like I've got or trying to tell his dad like I've got a problem, like I have these thoughts. And his dad was like, no. And his dad's like, we just got to get you in church. We got to get you in the military. Whatever it is. And he's saying it. And his first kill was like in 1978. Then he went 9 years without killing anybody.
Oh, and really?
Once he finally killed somebody, which was on accident because he blacked out and like his true nature came out. He woke up, the dude was dead. And then like once that bottle, that genie came out of the bottle, like it was it. Like there was no more controlling it. He was just whatever it was. And he said he just kept doing it because he thought he was going to get caught. And then after a while, he's like, I guess we're not going to get caught. This just is what it is. And it's so, just a mindset of somebody like, what makes you want to kill a person? I wouldn't even want to kill a person that I hate. the only situation I can imagine killing somebody if they're trying to hurt my friends or family, and that was the only avoidable way of it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's yeah. That's a tough one.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
mean, just like in a soldier situation, that's
Yeah,
life or
yeah,
death.
but I mean yeah, but that's not what this was. This was
No,
literally
no,
just,
this,
hey, you know, what'd be
yeah,
fun this weekend. You know, I got a gun.
kill,
You got a gun.
kill.
Let's just go kill some people. I
Let's
think
just go
that'd be
kill.
cool. Yeah, I
Right,
mean,
like,
let's go find some old ladies and
right,
pop a
yeah,
cap in their ass. All
and
right, sounds
it's
like a
like,
good idea. Let's get some
and
beers.
it-
Make a
and
thing
that,
of it.
dude, people, there's, well, like, listen to all these true crime shows and stuff. It's like people, I guess that I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I'm willing to hurt somebody. Let's say that, like, but I don't know if I would want to kill 'em. I would have hurt somebody I hate.
I wouldn't even bother with that, man. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
just whatever.
Uh,
Good day. Yeah,
right.
everybody needs an antagonist in their life, I guess.
Right.
I know. I
Yeah,
went
well,
from
that
food
escalated
to
quick.
killing somebody. All
Yeah.
right, so Dahmer, like I said, I watched the first episode of Dahmer and I was good because they
Yeah.
showed me how they caught him. So to me, I really didn't care
And it's
past
just,
that point. You
yeah,
know, I
it's
I
just a
got to,
backstory.
yeah, I didn't need the backstory. That I
Right.
was like, nah, he's crazy. I mean, we know that.
Right.
We just saw him try to kill this guy, and then he just sat down on the couch. Was like, no, I'm not gonna get caught.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and didn't
And
work out so good for him.
he instantly copped to everything. He instantly
Yeah.
copped to everything. Once it happened, he's like, the lawyers were telling him, like, hey, this is in the tapes. Like, the lawyers telling him, hey, you shouldn't say it. He's like, they already found everything in my apartment. He said, I'm not getting out of this.
Right.
He's like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did this. I also did this, this, and this.
Yeah. Let's have
So
some closure for some of these
r-
people.
right.
I,
And then
I
of course he
and
gets
there again,
murdered.
I feel like the serial killers like that, like there should be. That's one of those things where, okay, if we can prove it, then we should be able to like pump you full of truth serum and then just have you answer all the questions of like
Right.
all the other shit that you did. You know
Yeah.
where the rest of the bodies are. To me, that would be cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, and
Well,
if there's
and
nothing there, there's nothing there. But it's like, you know,
let's figure out, like, so let's close some of these cases that we don't know.
yeah, let's
Like with John Wayne Gacy, which is also in the Dahmer episode because it was same time when he was being put to death. Uh, but he was also killing a lot of the same time that Dahmer was.
right.
And it shows him and he's like, yeah, I've forgiven myself, I've found God and all this, and it shows Dahmer kind of watching that. So that's when he goes to get saved, and he's like, and then he's like, well, how do you think you and him are different? And he's like, we're very different. He said he still doesn't admit he killed these people. He's like, I've
Right.
said that I've killed all these people.
Right.
I was like, I guess he's kind of right, but
Well, no, and that's the thing. It's like, yeah, that's the part where it's like, no, look, we know you did. No, I didn't. Yeah, you did. Like
yeah,
we've
yeah, like we
that's
got
you
you.
in the picture, Bigfoot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no, it wasn't
you
me.
got a clown mask on, bro. Like clown
Yeah.
face paint. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
you,
We know it was you.
right?
Yeah. No, that
So
was multiple
what did
personality.
Dean watch?
So I started watching a couple things. I didn't manage to get through any of them because I started watching the Olympics basketball, the Dream Team or whatever the hell it
Yeah,
was. I
I almost
started
watched
watching
that.
that. Huh?
Yeah, I almost watched it. I didn't
I
though.
it, it's it the 10 minutes I got to see of it were great. I was
Yeah.
really looking forward to it, but then um I we had to babysit last weekend, and so I had to I killed at least
Not
six
yet. Not
subscribers.
yet. Not yet.
I'll never tell.
Yeah.
Um I had to we had to babysit on Sunday. So I was like, crap. I had a bunch of work I needed to do Sunday, so I had to stop watching that and immediately go and watch and start editing because um, the uh, the industry awards just wrapped up. Your
Yeah.
entries to get into like installers
Mhm.
and salesmen and all that crap. And Fernando was adamant about, even though he won't enter, he was like, "You gotta enter," and I was like, I don't want to enter." And he was like, "No, you gotta enter." So I was like, oh, "Crap!" So we filmed the video Saturday at work, and then I had to hurry up and edit it. So, all right, and then I started watching another series. Continue watching. Eat the Rich. I started watching the Eat the Rich series.
Oh, how far did you get?
I
Like
only
one
got
episode?
episode 1 done.
What'd you
So
think?
I'm on board. I think it's
Yeah.
great. I think it's great. I just
Yeah.
I'm also to the point where it's like, crap. I gotta do some other
You
shit. So
you got to do something.
yeah. So
So have you been watching the Lord of the Rings?
yeah,
Are you up to date? How's that going?
I'm done. Yeah, it just ended this past
It's
week.
done now?
It's done. It's
I
done.
should probably watch it.
All the rings are out, and it gets us to the point. I really enjoyed the series. I thought it was good. It's exactly what I needed. I get done watching it, and I don't feel like a dirty scoundrel. I'm
Yeah.
like, I just watched some bad shit, and I should feel guilty about it, because I spent way too much time in Sunday school when I was a kid. But
Yeah.
no, I enjoyed Lord of the Rings, and they ended it on a shit. Really? Okay.
I think I
All right.
just got to get over the hump of they're in the Shire. Like that's where I stopped, and I was like, oh god, man. Like
Yeah. So I guess to help you make some sense of that,
yeah,
the Shire people, or what they call them, Harefoots or whatever they are, they're
yeah.
like the precursor to the Hobbits,
Mm-hmm.
and we only need them because of they're doing a parallel. That's a parallel storyline that really never crosses over into the main storyline. But what they're
Yeah.
introducing is the
The
wizard.
guy, the dude that, the new Gandalf.
So, well, we assume it's Gandalf. We don't know though, because technically, because Gandalf is gray, which he's wearing a gray thing, so we're to assume it's Gandalf the Gray.
Right.
And so, but he lands on Middle Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Where he comes from, I don't know. That they don't really do. Like, okay, we'll just accept it for what it is. And he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know what he is, and and there's these beings that are after him because they feel he's Sauron.
Yeah.
Lord Sauron. But as it turns out, he's been here the whole time, so he never left.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, son of a bitch."
Yeah, they're finding the little trails of him.
I
watched.
But he's right here.
Right.
He's right. Hey, he's right here.
Yeah.
And you just go, oh damn, it's him. Oh shit. All right, cool, got it. Oh, good one. Yeah. They forced that one on us. Good. You guys are tricky. So no, I enjoyed it. So they ended it. It was a good ending. It left you going, I'm gonna have to wait a year for this, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. And then naturally, Lord of the Rings ends this week. So
Game
Sunday.
of Thrones.
That's what I meant. Game of Thrones is ending this week, so thank God.
Dude, listen. Let me just say, like the acting in Game of Thrones is top freaking notch. Aside, if you disregard the children actors,
yeah,
which I don't think are great, but the adult versions they are absolutely killing it.
Oh, they're so evil. Like everyone sucks. Everyone sucks.
Yeah.
I will say this. The princess that would be queen is what they keep calling her. That should have been queen.
Which is, she's not Rhaenyra. She's like a very similar name, like Rhaenyra or Rena or something like Rena.
Whatever.
Like
she's really okay. So one thing I've figured out about her in the whole series, which is kind of funny, is that she's the only character in the whole series that has never changed her personality.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, but I mean, think about it. Everyone we know, it's like we either love them, we hate them, we love them, we hate them, we hate them, we love them, and they're just bouncing emotional roller coaster for all these characters. It's like, oh, that guy's cool. That guy's a dick. Oh, she's cool. Oh my God, she did that.
Yeah.
Her. They have never changed her character from. It's like, oh, I didn't win. I'm kind of bitter, but I'll get over it.
Yeah.
But they've never changed her character. She's just always been this person in the back that you're like, I got nothing on her.
Yeah.
Until this episode.
Well, she's like the Tyrell lady in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
You know, the older one. She's like stayed. She's willing to get her hands dirty, no question. Like, my hands need to get her, they will get dirty. But she also has been the same person.
She was from Dawn. Yeah, because I always find it amusing when they always go, "Oh, are the Dawn invading?" You know, and you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, they're not. They're yeah. I get the joke now, but no, they're actually some badasses. So,
Right.
I
Well,
mean,
dude, so the best person in the show has been and it will be to this day King Viserys. Like he's the most true, honest person in the show.
well, yeah, but he also got nothing for it. Baba, what did I miss? I feel like thanks for acknowledging the request, Haley.
I
Dean
must
just
have
blew me
missed.
off.
Uh,
I missed
I
the beginning.
we yeah.
Oh, I you and Sue going to SEMA too. They are not going to SEMA.
No.
Yeah, no. It's just Fernando and I. We're going with audio control. We'll talk more about SEMA and all that stuff on the other show. So
Yeah.
don't worry,
Yeah.
Papa.
You're
We'll
just
have
stuck
you
with the
up to date and all that.
chuckleheads. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But okay, so you watched this last episode, right? Of course you
Right.
did.
Where they usurped the throne
Yeah.
as
So
expected.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like you're just like when they locked her in her room, the queen, the would be
Right.
queen.
Right.
And then they had that little conversation, and it was like, dude, that moment there that was to me, that was honestly one of the best scenes that has happened in the series where it's like now the king is dead. This
Uh-huh.
this the current queen is a bit frantic, and this other lady is old, smart, and knows what the frick is going on,
Oh
and
yeah.
is like, look, you want to be in charge. You're stupid, that whole line of delivery. And then she's like, well,
Yeah.
we're not going to give you your dragon back. And she's like, oh, okay, see how that
Mhm.
works out for you,
Right.
you
Right.
know. And then, thankfully the brothers, they have to search for this. And the one brother's like, I didn't sign up for this crap. And you're like, this guy's a douchebag. Like, screw this. He's going to be king. No, man,
Right.
I'm going to kill him
Yeah.
myself. And it's like, come on, princess, you got to get the hell out of here. And she's like, I want my dragon. And they're like, no, we can't go that way. And then you see that look on her face when it's like they're leading her to the dragon's keep.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, seriously, this shit's
Right.
happening?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's fixing this. Something's happening. Yeah. When
Yeah.
she sneaks off, I was like, yeah, the dragon's coming out.
But
And it would
yeah,
have been perfect if she would have just roasted them all right there.
I know.
But
You
they
can't.
weren't gonna do that, and
Yeah.
it's
And
like
I really like how they pan in her face. Like she has really great facial expressions that just
right.
tell what she's thinking. Like she's watching the when they showed her watching those few seconds of what's happening, you can see it in her face, like, oh, these guys are so stupid. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, like you're so dead.
Well,
I'm gonna go get my
that
dragon.
I like that they didn't have Rhaenyra or Damon in the whole episode.
Yeah.
Nothing from their side, which was
Yep.
cool because Damon's kind of carrying the episode a lot with his
Yes.
brother, but not having him and then still having strong performances
Yeah.
outside of that. And now it's like, oh, okay. Like now, like the way it ends, shit's going down. Like this is happening. Like next episode's serious.
Yeah, I think we're finally gonna. I hope they finally kill somebody. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, yeah. So
I feel.
people are gonna die. I don't
I,
see no way around
yeah,
it.
somebody has to. Somebody has to die.
Yeah.
He
Sign
wants to
boring life
sign
t-shirt.
boring life shirt. Don't we all?
Yeah.
I don't even have one.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. People are gonna die for sure. No question.
Yeah.
So
Is Jeff Smith going to see him? I'd get him sure and have him sign it too. Jeff should be going to. Jeff should be at SEMA. I don't know. I haven't talked to Jeff. I have talked to Jeff this week, but only in text messages. So
yeah.
kind of odd. Anyways, when she busted out of the floor and she's in her arm and like she didn't even have to say anything. That was the coolest part. Like there was no
Yeah.
words in that scene, but there were so many words in that scene.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and I was just like, it finally was that was the Game of Thrones moment that I've been waiting for, where I was just like, oh hell yes,
yeah.
you know, it's like those scenes have made it kind of worthwhile. Like when he cut the dude's head off, and
Right.
he's like, he can keep his tongue, and
Yeah.
like he cut it off perfectly, so his tongue was just flopping around there. I was like, oh yeah, that's badass. Like, and I
I
was
do like
literally, huh?
you know, they have him, but then they have like Dollar General Damon, who is Aemond,
Yeah,
who has grown up and really like he should be the king, as he says, and he really should. He's got the
yeah,
biggest dragon. He's the
yep,
warrior. He studied all this stuff, and then
yeah.
you got this little sniveling dude with the biggest bags under his eyes that you ever seen. It's like,
Yeah, it's all right. So we're excited that this will. I'm excited that it'll finally over. I really
yeah,
am. You know, um,
yeah,
and yeah, I just want it to end because I got to be honest with you. I feel like the king. I'm just tired.
yeah,
I'm just tired and beat. You know,
yeah.
it's like I was working on this guy's car. I don't know if I told her, and this Jeep, and it just everywhere I turned, I was getting cut, and I said to him, I said, dude, are you watching Game of Thrones? He goes, yeah. I said, I feel like the king. Your
On
car
the
is,
throne.
yes, I feel like your car is
Yeah,
just, it hates me so much. And it's just, I bled all day today. Like every one of my fingers was cut and bleeding. And just like, I was like,
yeah.
this thing is a monster.
They're
It
gonna have
just
to get
didn't
the
want us
leeches,
here.
man. Get the leeches. It'll make it
Oh
better.
God. Oh, get
Yeah.
the maggots. Gotta get the
Oh,
maggots.
dude, his face was so gnarly. That was so dope. The special
The
effects on
hole.
that. Yeah, the hole
Yeah.
in the eye and stuff. Yeah, that
So
was
you remember
cool.
what it reminded me of was Two-Face from Batman,
Yeah,
Harvey Dent.
yeah, yeah,
When the last guy played Two-Face and his whole
yeah.
like that whole thing was all acid burn and eaten up, and you could see the king, you could see his teeth,
Oh
and
yeah, he looked like the Night
oh,
King to me. He looked
huh?
like the Night King
Yeah, he
on
looked bad.
official Game of Thrones. He looked like the Night King, kind
Oh,
of.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
but the
It
Night
just
King still had his jaw and all that somehow. Yeah,
yeah, that looked really bad.
yeah,
So
yeah. It was gnarly.
yeah, when he took it off and his eye was just that big vacant socket, and you're just like,
Right. But there's like
so
a light in there.
one viewer brought, or one thing I watched, and I brought up an interesting point where it was like, this guy is on the poppy all the time, so he's got
Oh
to just
yeah.
be just spitting some crazy shit.
Yeah.
So for her to think, she was dumb. Like that was a stretch. That she's like,
She knew this was the plan. Like
yeah,
all she needed to hear because she's a bad person, but
yes,
she can't admit it to herself.
right,
At least Rhaenyra can admit it to herself to do bad things. She just needed to hear something to validate what she was going to do anyways.
yeah.
So, and then she's aghast when they had this plan, but she's not aghast enough to stop it.
Right, right, and
You know, so
that's what the princess was telling her, like,
right.
you know,
Like you want this, you're just not
yeah,
saying this.
right.
Yeah.
And I'm in there again. I'm finally it's only taken to the end of this to where it's actually gotten like good,
Yeah.
but not great. It's still
I've had a blast all time, but I'm already in. But I got so burnt from the other one, the last season, the other one that I was ready.
well, and that's why I'm kind of like this one. I'm kind of just like I just haven't gotten the big. Like these moments were big, but I mean, it's like they're there's 3 minutes worth of big moments, or 3 seconds
Yeah.
worth of big moments, and you're just like, oh, so we watched that whole
Yeah.
episode for the dragon to bust out of the floor and be like, take that, bitches, deuces, I'm out of here, and you're
At
just
least we
like,
got it. We had a whole
yeah,
season 3 where we didn't have any of those on Game of Thrones.
yeah, that's true,
Because remember
yeah,
they drug it out, like they drug it out big time. So I feel like they're faster now, but probably not as fast as they should be
yeah,
on the
I don't
reveals.
know, I just, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm yes, this next episode, I haven't watched like the trailer for it or anything because
Yeah.
I wanted to go to bed, but
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see. I'll probably watch the trailer for it one night,
It looks
maybe
good.
tonight.
I always like to. I always watch it because it comes on before the directors talk about the episode. Because
Yeah,
I like watching what they say about the episode and why they did what they did. It's just
yeah,
interesting to me, you know,
yeah.
and it
I
gives you
try to catch
insight in
those.
what the characters might be thinking or should be thinking.
Yeah, they don't make those easy to find though. Like,
No, no, no. It's just literally at the end of the episode.
yeah,
Like
I
this
know.
always it.
It's
Yeah.
always, but I always scroll and it's like, oh,
It's
where'd it go? Yeah,
mhm,
it
yeah.
sucks. It should be its own.
They're trying to do the Marvel thing, but
y-
not well.
Not well. Yeah, it should
Right.
just be its
Yeah.
own thing. I
Well,
haven't really.
we
Go
have
ahead.
10 minutes to talk about Lou.
So it is a not very exciting.
Yeah.
It's a story we've all heard before. There was a twist, which everyone's like, "Oh my god, I didn't see that coming." It was like, how did you
Yeah.
totally see it
No,
coming?
that was coming from a mile away.
Oh, a mile away. Like
Yeah.
it was the only thing that made sense. But it's the tale of the retired spook that's past comes back to haunt her, and
Mhm.
she's got to take care of some shit. It soon this is how, regardless of whether you watch it or not or what we think of the movie.
Yeah.
I showed the trailer to Sue and I said, "This is like 100 movies we've seen. Do you want to sit down and watch it?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And
Yeah.
we both sat down and I watched it and she listened to it because she was doing something way more important on her phone.
Yeah.
And I said, "What'd you think?" She goes, "Yeah, it was good." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So if we would have had a bucket of popcorn,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
okay.
would have
Yeah,
been
there's
good.
not I think it starts off really strong, and then towards the middle starts slowly kinda and
Well,
then
there
it
was a
kind of
lot of
it just
rain.
and
There was a lot
it
of
just kind of
rain.
flattens out. It's like, okay, you can see
Yeah,
what's happening. At the
yeah.
beginning, it's like, okay, it's just gonna be straight up action. Like she's a
Well,
badass.
and that was, and there again, they had to slow it down because it was like it started out really good,
Right,
and there again, and then I felt like the fight scene, the first big fight scene that she goes after the two guys
right,
and she kicks both their asses. It was like, all right, now we have to like. I'm of the mindset it wasn't awful. Yeah, no, it wasn't, and dude, it was Bad Robot produced, which
yeah,
I was like, wow, Bad Robot did this. Okay,
yeah.
so
That's
why
crazy.
it
I didn't
wasn't
even
totally awful.
I didn't see the very end. I watched it up to 10 minutes, and we had to get on the show.
Well, there again, the ending
Yeah,
was totally predictable. I mean, as soon as she
right,
shows
yeah.
up with a bulletproof vest on, you're like, all right, well, we know
Yeah.
what
Well,
that's
and
for.
I did get to see the fight, so I got to see the fight between her and her son, and then her son gets
Yeah.
killed.
Well, okay, so that's my thing though. It's like, all right, so this old lady is bad enough to kick the shit out of these two younger dudes.
Right,
Like, we have to assume that, like, we don't need to all of a sudden make her weak. You know what I mean?
right,
Like,
right,
and I think that's where they always make the mistake. It's like, you know what, let her be a Superman through the whole thing. Like,
right,
don't let them kick these people's ass and then show kryptonite. Like, totally go
right.
back to the 80s where it was like, oh my god, oh, I just got shot, I feel so much pain. But you know what,
Hmm.
in about a scene I'll be ready to
Good to
do this
go.
again. you know
Yeah,
like, to me, that's and like she gets like the pick of the axe in her and she's like,
right.
it's like, why did like, that made no sense. That made no
Yeah.
sense. It was like, she's an old lady. Like, why? Like, no, 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 don't.
And I
Find
think
a better thing.
I think their intention was to be that she doesn't really want to kill her son, and
Oh
that's why
yes, for
she's like,
sure.
and she's going easy on him, and I think that's what the intention was supposed to be. But yeah,
Well, because if she wanted him dead, she would have just killed him before, and she
right.
didn't.
Yeah,
She let the government do it.
right. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and
exactly.
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, what parent wants to kill their child?
Well, no kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
I
you heard
mean,
me. I don't even want to kill someone I hate. So.
yeah. So I mean, but I mean, she was a spook though, and so it was,
Right.
and I
Yeah.
get it, and it was like, okay, so she's a terrible person, trying
Right.
trying to save herself. But there again, it wasn't an awful movie. It was a great, Saturday Sunday night watch where it's just like, and the one thing that I thought was good about it, that they made it a period piece, which I didn't
Yeah.
even see that coming, which
Yeah.
is what saved the movie because it was like shot in the 80s. So yeah, I liked that
Yeah.
aspect of it
I
because
didn't even realize that. So it
you,
was.
yeah, you didn't. That's why there was no cell phones and those big walkie. Like, she took the walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they drove past a gas station, and like the gas was 73 cents a gallon.
Oh, okay,
And
yeah.
so it
I
was a
didn't.
retro piece, and like that piece of shit truck she was driving, and all the cars in there were old pieces of
Right.
shit. It was because those were actually new pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it
Yeah, I
was
didn't
a
catch
retro
that.
movie, which was good. I think that to me made the movie better, because if it would have been a current movie, it was like a cell phone would have solved all these problems.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, we could have just tracked his cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. I
yeah.
never even thought that they didn't grab it, and I was like, well, I guess maybe they don't have cell service and they got to use the stupid
Nope.
walkie. They had to
Yeah.
do the
Yeah.
Stranger Things cell phone.
They did this. They had to do. That was it. They did the Stranger Things cell phone. So that was
Yeah.
kind of cool. I was like, oh, that's cool. I can dig with that.
Yeah.
What are we gonna watch next week?
Ooh, I don't know. And man, I didn't even look at anything to watch next week.
I mean, I don't really think it matters. We can just watch whatever. Oh, you know what? I got an idea. Screw it. Let's just watch the end of Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
because we spent so much time on that anyways. So
Right.
let's just watch the last episode of Game of Thrones, and we'll just do a wrap up on that and whatever other silly things that we get a chance
We
to
watch.
watch.
Talk about the Bermuda Triangle. Something
Yes,
equivalent.
and fruit.
I do
Yeah.
now. This episode, I hope that someone's like, I wonder if anyone's done a movie review of Lou. Let me check it out. They don't know nothing about us. and then
and they're constantly fast forwarding,
dude,
and then they get to 50 minutes in, and we talk for 5 minutes about the movie Lou.
if you're that person, I'm gonna be looking in the comments. Leave a comment below. Like, I'll send you a gift card for an apology. Because I know we've had one person like that before, so I do hope that we have that person.
Yeah. That's that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, no.
Black Adam comes out tomorrow. Really?
Ooh, I've heard some mixed reviews on that.
Let's be honest. Okay,
It was never going to be good.
It was never going to be good.
Right? Yeah.
It doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah.
You're letting The Rock be a bad guy for a moment, you know, and then you're going to turn him into an, you know, it's not his role, man. It's not his role.
Plus, like, I like The Rock. I like Kevin Hart, but I'm kind of Rock and Kevin Hart out. Like,
I'm Kevin Harted out for sure, but I still think there's some movies The Rock could do that I don't know. I look at like his earlier movies where they actually ask him to play a character.
Yeah.
But you know, in there again, I would like to see him and Mark Wahlberg do a movie again that isn't based on a movie that's stupid as shit.
Yeah.
You know,
I would like to see him, Mark Wahlberg, and Sam Jackson have to actually play characters, not themselves, and see what that's like in a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Oh, Clerks 3 you can buy now. That would mean I'd have to go. I hope they have a box set, because I haven't seen 1 or 2.
Oh man, if it's anything like, not to say that the first Jay and Silent Bob was a good movie. I'm not going to say that, but I did like the movie. The second one that just recently released like 3 years ago, it was unwatchable.
Ooh,
that's how bad it was. So
see, I like Kevin Smith. Like, he does
too,
a podcast
yeah.
that I watch every now. I used to watch religiously, but it's an hour long, and I just with a guy named Mark Bernardin. Actually, it can be like 3 hours long. They just talk and talk and talk, and it's all on geeky shit. And I used to love watching it, but I just haven't had.
Well,
I haven't had the time.
It's the same reason I used to like some of Joe Rogan's podcasts, but they're all 3 or 4 hours. It's like, dude, I cannot commit that time.
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
Like, some of them are really great interviews, but I cannot commit that amount of time to it.
No, not
Adam Carolla as well.
Us.
Adam Carolla was another one that I would listen to. He had some really fun shows, but it's just too much content. I had to drop them.
I need to
give me 30 minutes to an hour. That's good.
You know, it's funny too, because it's like I keep wishing to. It's like I keep going, man. I need to find a podcast to listen to, because I like a nice hour-long podcast that because I run for about an hour, so it's like if I can get a nice podcast that's an hour, I'm golden.
Yeah,
I just there again finding something like that, I just don't have time.
Yeah,
Kind of
it's
sucks.
tough.
Oh well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next week we're gonna wrap up Game of Thrones. Then we don't have to talk about it anymore. Thank God.
Until the
And,
next season.
Yeah, which will be a year and a half away. So who gives a
Probably
crap?
even farther than that. Be
Yeah.
the snow show.
So go watch Lou. You'll love it. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Till next week. You guys have a great weekend.
Bye. Later.